I got to start. How hard was it for you, for Rob Blake, for everybody in the organization to make the decision to trade Jonathan Quick?
It's really, really hard. I mean, it's we've all been through it, you know, and not all of us. Some guys that have not, but it's a really hard thing to do, and you know, I think we all there's times that we're doing the management thing, and we realize what's going on, but you still remember what it felt like to be a player, and I think it's important for all of us to never forget that. That being said, you know, it's a hard business sometimes, and there's some hard decisions that needs to happen, and there certainly was a hard one.
Luc, there's been some speculation since the trade went down that there was, I'm asking, was there any indication that Jonathan Quick was considering retiring at the end of the season? And if he was, how would that have affected everything else as far as thinking through this matter?
It hasn't been like a clear discussion, but I think everything from our standpoint of view and discussions, like he intends to keep playing. That being said, I'm sure Jonathan will sit down with his family and make the decision that he wants to do at the end of the year. He's earned that right. But for us, the indication was that he might still want to move forward and keep playing.
You know, Luc, I just want to one more follow-up on the Quick thing. I mean, again, you were in a somewhat similar situation. I mean, you were a beloved LA King. You kind of moved out of there. I mean, what from a player standpoint, from a personal standpoint, from you, what do you remember about that time in your life?
It's really difficult. It's hard to grasp what happens to you. It's been your life, and you're mad at everyone. You know, and it's part of it. It's part later, like for me anyway, I don't want to speak for anyone else. You know, I realized that there were some hard decisions that at the time the organization needed to make regarding what they thought was best for the franchise. And then it took me a while, but I understood later. But it's never easy. We understand what it is to be a player, and we understand it's never easy. It's like when Mike got moved away from the Trashers there, that was a tough one, I'm sure.
Yeah. Hey, you still feel it to this day, Luc. You know, sometimes life stinks and you just got to move on. So it's and to the point I think all of us are making here. It stings. It's something that is unfortunate in this line of work that we do, but on the same rate, this is a wide open Western Conference, in my opinion at least, and your team has just as good of a chance as anybody else in coming out of the West. And so this trade, you guys got better. You added Gavrikov and Korpisalo. What do these guys bring to the table here?
Well, I think everyone that's talked about our team felt we needed to fill a couple of holes, and certainly Gavrikov is a great defender. He plays the game well. He plays the game the right way, and we felt that he would really help us the way our team's been playing. And then bringing Korpisalo, he's had a good year, and we feel the same that he's going to be able to help our team.
Luc, this has been a crazy trade deadline. And I mean, the last week, it's been great for those of us who do this or in the TV business. We got a lot to talk about. I hope you guys make another trade in the next, I don't know, half hour.
We had a lot to talk about now. I don't know about Friday, though.
Yeah, Friday will be, you might want to hold off on one maybe until Friday.
By the way, it looks like Friday's going to be boring for some reason.
Like, all right, let's go.
Yeah, well, we'll figure out something to talk about. But, you know, has it been, like, you've been involved in LA management now for a while. You've seen trade deadlines kind of come and go. Has this one been just different because of the cap situation for a lot of teams that they're trying to deal with?
I think the last few years has been really hard to cap the way it hasn't gone up or the way it was projected to, and it was due to COVID. I mean, it's been real hard for all teams to adjust, and it's one of those situations, and that's why sometimes, like, you know, you have to make moves that are not real comfortable or are not the moves you want to do when you start, but it has to do with what's happened the last few years and what the projections are for next year also.
Luc, my last one for you, and you can answer this as far as what it means with your team, but I find a lot of times when we see jersey retirements, these ceremonies happening, other fan bases are like you're retiring this guy's name? I mean, he's not your all-time franchise point leader and all these different things, but these players mean so much to the community, so much to the franchise. They've made their stamp in such a big way. We had this conversation with Chris Neal up in Ottawa, but, Dustin Brown, I mean, could you just let some of these fans that maybe aren't in the LA fan base just know how important he was? What a driving force and a leader he was for that team. And we just saw his jersey obviously retired. You guys did a phenomenal job with that a little while back.
Yeah, I mean, I think, Mike, for us, as an organization, I don't know, I was trying to count today and I missed it, but it was like 35 plus guys or 30 plus guys that won the Stanley Cup for us. Those guys, this franchise owed them everything, for the entire organization that worked and was part of that group. There's definitely for us a special group: Dustin Brown, Anze Kopitar, Jonathan Quick, Drew Doughty. They're a very special group. They've been with us since the beginning, and they were the leaders of the franchise, and they took us to another level that this franchise never been to. And, when it comes down to Dustin, for us, it was a no-brainer because he's played the most games. He had hits. He led the league in hits almost every year. He was the first captain to raise a Stanley Cup. And that was very important for our fans and our franchise to have him. When you come into Crypto.com Arena, you see that. The guy that raised the Stanley Cup, he was the leader of our franchise. He was the first one to do it. And that's why it was such a special night for everyone.
Luc, one more for me. The secondary scoring in your group this year has been it's been improved, and you went out in the offseason and got Kevin Fiala. That was part of it. Adrian Kempe is having another really good year. Give me your thoughts on those two players in particular, because when you make a trade to get somebody or to get Fiala, you think you know what you're getting, but it seems like he has really lived up to the billing.
Yeah, Kevin's been really good. He's been a game breaker for us. We've been able to put him in, all three lines, our top three lines, and he's been he's really changed the look and feel of our power play. And there's a lot of puck movement who's on the ice. So we knew we were getting a very special player, but I don't think any of us realized how good and how much of a difference he was going to make on our roster. And as far as Adrian Kempe, every time we look at Adrian, I was going to call him Juice, the way our guys call him, but every time we look at Adrian, we remember to be patient. And Adrian was a really good player for us, and he was playing the right way, and he wasn't scoring a lot of goals. The next thing you know, last year he just blew up. So you're seeing Gabe Vilardi right now is coming on his own. So he's really teaching us a way that we need to be patient with our young players.
All right, Luc, thanks for taking the time today. I'm sure it's an interesting day, certainly in the history of the LA Kings, with moving Jonathan Quick out, but you do end up making your team better in the present. You guys are having a great year. Keep up the good work, and we will talk to you soon.
Thanks, guys. Great talking to you.